Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to Chicago. We're up here at Fullerton, Lincoln Park West. We got about 12:10 in the PM on a Monday. What is this? What's today's date here? It's Monday, August 19th, 2024. The DNC's just starting. How's it going, Chris? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we have a gorgeous sunshine day. What, 70 degrees in August? Come on. I think the high is going to be like low 70s today. We'll go by the Moore sculpture here where we're usually starting in some of our lives here in Lincoln Park here. And we checked this out here. We got a little glare of the sun there, but yeah, here's the Moore sculpture. Artist Susan Giles here tells it about a little bit here. You can hear the cicadas in the background. Finally, the cicadas about a month ago started chirping here. Hey, Joellen, Lisa, Chris, thanks everybody. Chris, thanks for tuning in from Michigan there. Yeah, we're in Illinois here. We're in Chicago. We're back. I took my little side trip to Cincinnati there. Had a good party there with my cousin Mike there for his bachelor party for his wedding. It was great. We had the party bus there in Cincinnati, saw the fountain. I posted that video. Party with his friends. It was a great time. Really enjoyed hanging out with his friends and my cousins and people that are going to be in the wedding there. We got the wedding coming up later. Hey Joe, thanks for tuning in. Christy, Danny, Naya, Master, yeah, we're back here. Christopher, thanks for tuning in there. Heather B, Lambie T, Lori, Dave, Sharon, Crystal Blue Funk, everybody's tuning in here. This is great. Hey, these cute little dogs. Like Benji there, Benji the dog. Remember that movie Benji? Joellen, Lisa. Oh yeah, that's back to the beginning there. So we're back down to Master. Yeah, it's a beautiful park here. Thanks, Christopher. Thanks. Yeah, Lincoln Park. You know, why do I pay the high rent to live on the north side of Chicago? I mean, even when I was in Cincinnati, it's amazing how much this is in the people's consciousness nationwide. Even people that are not from Chicago live in Chicago. I hung out with people in the for the party there for my cousin. We had a nice mixed company, people of all races, creeds, and backgrounds. They said, "Where are you from?" I said, I live in Chicago. I've been here for 26 years. They know I'm from the country of Indiana there, but they're like, "What side of Chicago?" I said, "The north side." They said, "Oh, you live with all the rich white people on the north side." I said, "You know, I was at the south side. I was filming the Bud Billiken Parade. I was showing them videos. They were laughing at me. They were like, they didn't believe me. They were like," I said, "I was down there." I said, "I was the only white person for miles, you know, south side of Chicago." And that's an exaggeration. There was all races, colors, and creeds at the Bud Billiken Parade. It was great. And largest, you know, black parade, African American parade, whatever you want to call it, on the south side there in Chicago. And I was trying to prove my street cred, you know, like, you know, I don't live in the suburbs. We live in the city. Even if you live in the city, the north side, it's like, it's perceived as like, oh, we're a bunch of wimps on the north side. I know it's the Sox versus Cubs divide. We always have that. You know, look, here I am heading back to Chicago for the DNC. People are like, "Be careful, I'm leaving town." I'm like, I'm going to go over to my plan is tonight, I'm going to go into work. That's why I'm heading downtown. I just got back into town last night. I'll probably take the Green Line tonight after work at 5 o'clock when I usually come on for TikTok. And we'll head over to Union Park. There's planned protests that are starting this afternoon for the DNC. We know that's going to go on. It's all permitted. There's probably going to be other protests that aren't even permitted. There was one on Michigan Avenue yesterday that I missed because I was traveling back into town. I feel some responsibility as one of the Chicago live streamers to cover the most newsworthy event happening this week in Chicago so far, the DNC happening, Democratic National Convention there. But you see, we're up by the beautiful flower garden here. People are sitting on benches here. This is Lincoln Park, the formal, I call these the formal French gardens. I don't know what the correct name. Hey, look, playing the guitar. Wonderful, thank you. That's great. Yeah, just playing the guitar here. Look at that, the conservatory. Beautiful day to just sit out and strum the guitar and sit on a blanket, sit on the fountain here, take some photos here. Look at that, yeah. Hey, John James, Christopher, yeah. So, yeah, Chicago has downtown, which is the central part. There's a north side, there's a south side, there's a west side. There is technically an east side, but it's really southeast Chicago. Most of the east side is the Lake Michigan. And there are North Shore suburbs outside the city of Chicago that are far wealthier than the northern inner part in the city, which I live in the city limits. There's the wealthiest neighborhoods, or the wealthiest suburbs are north of Evanston, north of the city limits. And there's wealthy suburbs in the south suburbs too, and the western suburbs like Naperville, Hinsdale, you know, south side. Olympia Fields has huge golf courses, Flossmoor. You can take the train down there. Look at the kids here. We're about to head through the Lincoln Park Zoo. A lot of the preschools have, you know, the kids come out for recess, they walk them into the park, they all hold on to the little rope there when they cross the street, sing a song. It's pretty cute. Look at the beautiful formal gardens here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Thanks for tuning in here. Lunch Bunch here on YouTube. We did a little TikTok this morning when I was going to the grocery store. There's the Schiller statue here. Yeah, so we'll check out the zoo here. And we'll see what's shaking here. We got a little wind today, so I know it's hard to hear me with the wind. Welcome to the Windy City. This is Chicago. We streaming okay, I think 3,800 kilobits per second. So we'll head through the Lincoln Park Zoo here. They got security here, so we'll see what the security looks like. Maybe I won't be able to walk through here with my backpack. I'm just gonna walk through. Should I go around? I got a laptop. I'm walking to downtown. Do you want to check my backpack? Okay, it's no problem, no problem. I'll let you do it here. There, I got a laptop and some batteries in there.
You can just remove phone keys, wallet from the phone.
Oh, okay, yeah, no problem, man. No problem there. There, I got this going on too. Okay, good. I forgot about the DNC. I live over here, and I'm glad you guys. Okay, yeah. I'm glad you guys are doing security. That's good.
Yeah, sir.
Good, thank you.
Your bags are open so they can take
You
a photo.
grab me.
Yeah, okay, good, thank you. Oops. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. So good, they're doing security here, which is good. Good deal, thank you. Okay, good. So I forgot that because the DNC, you know, they did this again. Let's see, when did they last do security for the zoo? It was around NASCAR weekend, I think, or maybe it was around something else was going on and they were doing security, which surprised me. You know, they don't normally have a security checkpoint there at the Lincoln Park Zoo. But hey, Kim, how's it doing there? Richard B, Dolores, Michael Anderson. Yeah, what a great day for a walk. Here's the seal. See, look at the seal. Yeah, the seal's swimming by here. There's another one going the other way. Look at the seal pond here, Lincoln Park Zoo. I remember walking through here in the wintertime. Sometimes they'd be sleeping and they would smell me and they'd look at me and then they would roll over and go back under the water there and swim to the back. Yeah, see, look at that. They'll take a big breath, go under the water here. Here's the seal pool, Lincoln Park Zoo. The macaques are over there. We got Bird's Eye Bar and Grill, the gift shops over there. Here's the lion exhibit. Now, I'm just walking through here. I know sometimes in the past we've checked out Lincoln Park Zoo. If you want to see more of the Lincoln Park Zoo, we got reruns hour-long reruns where we walk through the exhibits. Just search Lincoln Park Zoo there in my page there, and we see the lions and we see other stuff. I need to get downtown. It's already 12:20. There's no way I'm going to make it downtown by 1 o'clock. We'll probably get there around 1:30. Darren Monroe told me that the Centennial Fountain is back on, so I want to see if we can get an image of that when we walk across the river. And we, you know, hopefully it'll be on the rest of the summer, so we'll have plenty of chances to film that along the river walk. And hey, Tom Butt, Tara, how's it going there? Kim, Naya. Yeah, Naya, they told us the same thing. We're technically allowed or recommended to work from home this week. I was working from home this morning for the exact same reason as you. You work downtown right in the center of everything, and so do I. And they're just doing it to avoid, you know, not just security, but congestion with the transit and traffic. Look, there's the snow leopard. There's the snow leopard. It's rare to see the snow leopard out sometimes. It hides up by the rocks here. There's the snow leopard. Look at it.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, so here, I'll try to fan out just a little bit here. See if we get some nice images of the snow leopard here. There's the tail. Look at the tail of the snow leopard. You see the tail there? The snow leopard's up on its perch there. Lincoln Park Zoo. So, May, how's it going there? Tara, yeah, we're back. See, we got the band back together. Thanks for letting me take a few breathers last week, and I know my schedule got a little funky at the end of the week there, but now we should be back to our normal lunchtime YouTube live streaming schedule here for the Lunch Bunch. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I guess there was a hey, the kid, hey, you doing there? The kids in the wagon there with the face paints on. Isn't that great? Look at these flowers. Yeah, watch out for the birds there. This is hibiscus. These are hibiscus flowers. They actually have a little name tag on it. I know. I was wondering what those big giant flowers were. They're hibiscus, and at least that's what the sign there says. There's the flamingos. There's the flamingos. Let's see if I lift up the selfie stick, maybe we can get over there. There's the flamingos. They're kind of hiding in their corner there. How you doing? Here, we'll keep going around here. See if maybe we can catch them from the side. Here's some flamingos. You can see them eating their little shrimp there. There's the flamingos, Lincoln Park Zoo. Ah, they're walking around there. They're drinking the mud water. That's what always cracks me up there. They're walking around there. Look at that. Yeah, I guess tonight's Biden's going to speak at the DNC. Mayor Johnson, Hillary Clinton. Isn't it interesting? And we'll have more of a chance to talk about this as the week progresses. The contrast, the RNC in Milwaukee. Who did not speak at the RNC? George Bush II. Romney did not speak. Of course, the McCains, John McCain's, may he rest in peace. And it shows you the striking difference that Trump does not involve the old standard bearers of the GOP, because he points such a stark departure from the tradition of the Conservative Party. Now, at least the DNC, who's going to speak? The Clintons. The Obamas are going to speak. Michelle Obama's going to speak later in the week. Probably Barack's going to speak. Biden's going to speak. Jimmy Carter wants to live long enough to vote in this election, and so there's a difference right there. So we'll leave the Lincoln Park Zoo here. We'll keep heading through the park here. So I went through security just to walk through here. Well, I guess we'll go out here. We'll go out this way. And I got to make sure I go out the right way here. There we go. Good, thank you. Appreciate it. And so it shows you there is a heightened security. I saw it at the airport when I flew into Midway last night, and I saw it just going through the Lincoln Park Zoo. We had to go through a security checkpoint just to walk through the free zoo, just in case, you know, protesters might want to use any high profile venue to stage a protest. There's the Cafe Brar. Hey, they got the fountain back on. So this fountain's been off most of the summer. They got the waterfall here. I call it a fountain. It's a waterfall, but it's fed by a artificial water source there. And but naturalistic looking nonetheless. It's nice that we walk past these. Yeah, good luck with politicians not slandering each other. How much both sides do it. How many political ads are spent on slander, and the TV stations, including the cable news stations that most people love to hate, all sides, MSNBC and Fox News, both take all that money. And isn't it a shame that so much of our political money for any party goes to slander and tear down America on all sides? You know, it's like we have to tear down America to build it back up, and you have to tear down the other side. And even the local races almost seem to do it worse than the national tickets with the political hyperbole. So, and don't forget to criticize the Supreme Court for Citizens United for allowing so much dark money and billionaire international corporate conglomerate money to affect our elections through the Citizens United has ruled that money is free speech, so those with more money have more free speech. So Warren Buffett has much more free speech than we do, and I wonder what the founding fathers would think about that, including George Washington, who warned us not to divide into political parties and factions, and that's what we're doing. We've done it ever since John Adams and Thomas Jefferson immediately became bitter rivals in the election after George Washington stepped down from power, which is really hard to do. People want to make George Washington a king, and he said, no, I want to go back to my farm there. Even which was a plantation. I know there's, you know, maybe possibly criticism for some of the founding fathers and their own hypocrisy with, well, we know what we're talking about there. I won't even go down that rabbit hole. But look at this beautiful view to the Chicago skyline here. We're walking through Lincoln Park here in Chicago. We're heading downtown into work here. There's the farm and the zoo. And there's the Genie Gang Pavilion, newly restored here. We got 1228 here. Hey, taking some pictures there. Look at that. There you go. That's what people often do. You know, they take some nice photos here. See, people are sitting in the honeycomb structure here. Look at that. Isn't that nice? You can just lounge there and yeah, how you doing? It's great up there. Take some nice photos with your family there. Oh yeah, U.S. history's pretty dark. And it shows you, despite all our current debates, problems, issues, things, injustices that we deal with today, and it's still much better than it used to be. Historically, the injustices were much worse for women, for minorities, especially people of color, people that were enslaved. You know, that's what I was alluding to. The same founding fathers. Well, you look at this statue right here. This is Grant. We had to fight a civil war. The nation divided over the issue of slavery. Yes, that's what that war was about. And thankfully, but we still had, even after that was over, there was so much more, you know, with civil rights, the voting rights, you know, and debates we've had about wars we fought, LGBTQ rights, which is still very controversial to this day, and the debate continues. And you know, child labor laws, labor rights movement, all the unions and strikes that went on for the balance of distribution of wealth, and the debate continues, you know. But you know, as bad as, yes, there still are injustices and things that can be improved, but on balance, look at the Native Americans, the indigenous people, what they suffered, and now at least we acknowledge that. For so long they were forgotten, and that's why I try as much as possible to point out indigenous history, you know, the Black American experience, which was totally different. You know, we talk about this sometimes. You know, people have arrived at this country in several different ways. Not everybody had the immigrant experience that the Europeans had, where, you know, it was the land of opportunity, go out west and get your land claim and all that. Look at the Native Americans experienced that completely the opposite. It was a taking. It was a constant, you know, the country became a confining prison that limited their freedoms. Isn't that interesting? We had to destroy, you know, I often, you know, we use the symbol of the bald eagle as the symbol of freedom in America. And other empires, the Roman Empire, even the Russian Federation Empire uses the eagle as its symbol. Isn't that interesting? But we took something that was truly free, the indigenous Native American, and subjugated them to our laws unilaterally without consulting them. And we called ourselves the land of the free and the home of the brave when we were destroying the freedoms of the indigenous people at the exact same time. Isn't that interesting, the irony of that? And remember that the next time you sing the Star Spangled Banner. And but yeah, you know, the African American experience historically has been completely different over time, as you know, and that we still have this stark contrast. The Latino experience in America has been completely different. Remember, a lot of Latino, Hispanic Americans have indigenous ancestry too. It might not be from the contiguous 48 states or Alaska, which of course we have Inuit. The Native American population is still really strong in Alaska and Hawaii. We acknowledge that, but a lot of the indigenous population of the United States is Hispanic Latino. It came from Mexico, South America, Central America. Canada has a mixed Métis Native American population with the French. And the Native Americans are, you know, some of the American Native Americans had to go to Canada. Isn't that interesting? You know, and I you know, the only reason I bring it up is that I try to fully acknowledge the full breadth and width of the history of the United States of America. Often the history we've learned was the British colonial version of history, which left a lot out and promoted one side of history as the winner, which I don't know who wrote that. It's the histories written by the victors, and they edit stuff out, and it's just the nature of might makes right. Hey, how's it going there? Thanks, good, Lambie T. Thanks, Lambie T. Thanks for tuning in there. That's why I do that, you know. Of course, you know, I do show my face. I do show I'm a white guy. I have red hair. I have significant European American history, but I also have Melungeon history. I have a tiny, one side of my family goes way back to the Native Americans, and that's and I had to learn it. We had a lot of errors about what we thought about our history. It also was Melungeon. It touches on African American mixed with Native American mixed with Anglo American, European American, the Native American Indian traders back in the colonial period, and some indigenous people assimilated, some resisted and fought, and some tragically went to Oklahoma, were promised, you know, more broken treaties and more broken promises, and they tried all these different programs like the Dawes Act to force Native Americans to be farmers and pay taxes and assimilate, stop speaking their native languages. And it's a tribute to the indigenous peoples. They resisted and remained some sort of, you know, they're not just tribal but national identity throughout all these years. And you know, it's same with African American culture, Latino, Hispanic culture. And I'm all for multiculturalism. You can call me a bleeding heart liberal, a hippie, whatever you want to call me. But that's honestly how I feel. I think it makes the world more interesting. Our strength is in our diversity. There's other powers that want, you know, promote the monoculture, assimilating to our historical white Anglo-Saxon Protestant Christian culture that we all were supposed to assimilate to. Even the Catholics. All the wars that were fought in Europe between the Catholics and the Protestants, and then some of those wars were fought over here too. Isn't that interesting? It was between the Spanish and the British over empire, and they were dividing up the earth, you know, and these religious wars, you know, Sunni and Shia in the Mideast, Israel and Palestine, and Arab versus Israeli, and all kinds of these historical conflicts that still persist and are still in the news to this day. Isn't that amazing? Over ideology, religion, and other things. But hey, we'll keep on going here. Thanks everybody for tuning in and listening to my asides here. As we'll just head down Dearborn Street. We got 1237 here with people scooting along here. But I'll go quiet here. It looks like there's somebody sleeping under this bridge here. I think there's another march organized by Jill Stein coming from Humboldt Park, and they're going to protest for people's right to camp out in parks and things like that, which the Supreme Court has recently ruled on that. So here, we'll head through here. Damon, the colonial empires. It wasn't just the British Empire where the sun never set. The Spanish Empire at its peak, the sun never set either. That was earlier in the 1500s. The Spanish and the Portuguese colonized, and then the French and the British came later. And the British Empire peaked in the 17 and 1800s, and we know how that turned out too. They lost their empire too after World War I and World War II. Spain lost their empire earlier, including Mexico and South America, and even like the Philippines and things like that. And then America tried to be in a colonial empire too. We forget that too, briefly. And we treated Alaska and Hawaii like colonial empires, and Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands. We briefly controlled the Philippines after the Spanish-American War. But hey, here we're over by the History Museum. The History Museum supposedly has a nice new display about the '68 Democratic Convention and some of the periodicals and stuff, so we might have to tour through there. I would love that, and I know other people that tune in would like that too, so maybe later this, in the summer and the fall, we'll check that out. Here's the Abraham Lincoln statue in Lincoln Park. I call it the Standing Lincoln, because there's another statue to Abraham Lincoln in Grant Park that we filmed before where he's sitting. This is the Standing Lincoln statue in Lincoln Park, a gift to Eli Bates here. We'll head straight down Dearborn Street and head into the city here. Thanks, Naya. Thanks, Ricky. Yeah, I learned most of this. You know how I learned a lot of this stuff? You know, I think, what was his name? Zen. The brief history of the, you know, like an alternative history of the world. You know, I had, you know, I was trying, I went on my own, like Lewis Gates, you know, find your roots, you know, delving into my Melungeon ancestry, and then I found out all this, you know, vast Native American history that wasn't covered, or at least I never learned, even though I took college history courses, college prep, whatever. And then it leads to other things And it's just, history's fascinating, how vast history is, how everything's connected and interrelated, and it's a continuum, and history's still unfolding as we speak. We're part of it. The actions we take now can change the course of future events, and history turns on a dime. A lot of stuff's just random events that, you know, if Archduke Ferdinand was not assassinated, would have World War I, it probably would have happened anyway. It would have just played out differently, you know. And we'll never know all these alternative histories that people write. And but here, we'll head past North Avenue, we'll leave Lincoln Park, we'll head to the Gold Coast, and we'll head to downtown Chicago. Right north of Dearborn here. We'll cross here, the Constellation. There's Schwartzman is the architect. There's the Latin School. Yeah, Schwartzman did the this mid-century modern housing, 1550 buildings there. There, North Dearborn Association. They put this plaque in the rock there. Yeah, we did the Dearborn Walk. Yeah, I know. It's watch that movie 1917. It shows the futility of that trench warfare in the World War I. It was like a stalemate, and the whole generation of Europe was destroyed for nothing. Like hardly any territory was gained or lost, and it was such a waste of human potential. War, it shows you war is madness. War is madness, and we should avoid it at all costs, even if it's a justifiable reason. It just leads to misery on all sides, and eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth leaves us all eyeless and toothless. We got to find a way to coexist, live together. It's hard. Look at, I like the yarn. They got the yarn on the bike rack. This is the Latin School here, Dearborn Street. Here, let's cross the street here. There's such a beautiful group of buildings right here that we always pass on TikTok. He's rolling a cart out over there. That's what that sound is. So here, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Gold Coast. We're on Dearborn Street here, heading into the downtown here. Look at this beautiful landscaping here. North Dearborn Street here in the Gold Coast, the 1500 block. Look at these curving staircases, the beautiful pansies. 2 doors down, 2 doors up. This 4 flat here. Beautiful gardens. And of course the Italianate detailing with the curving staircases. Beautiful Italianate facades here. Look at that. You got the flower baskets there heading up there. And here's the Houghton building there. Our friend Fred there that works there. Hope I'm getting your name right there, Fred. We've been talking to you for years there. I appreciate that video that we interviewed him. Well, he comes out and talks to me every once in a while because he's seen me walking down this neighborhood for years. He knows I'm a hippie. He's like, "You're the guy that wears the sandals in wintertime." I was, "That's me." Yeah, across the way, the hanging baskets. They got the hanging baskets in the light poles there. Yeah, I mean, we came in, if you're still talking about World War I, yeah, we came in very late to the World War I conflict. We tried to be neutral or just support our allies, and then we eventually had to come in at the very end. But yeah, World War II, the same thing. America tried to be isolationist, but there's no way to be isolationist in world wars. And we got drawn into it and became a major player in winning that war for the Allies against Nazi Germany and Japan, and changing the whole world order. And it became, the Cold War immediately started as soon as these, remember, Russia and the United States were allies in World War I, along with France and Great Britain. And immediately after, it became the Cold War, the battle between capitalism and socialism, and capitalism won out. mainly because the Soviet Empire failed to live up to the ideals of communism, became corrupted. Socialism's easy in theory, very hard to bring to bear with human politics and human limitations and strong men and people like Stalin who become dictators. And isn't it, that's the tragedy of, same happened in Cuba. You know, they overthrow the colonial capitalist and socialism reverts to a dictatorship and becomes just as frightening or more frightening than the thing that it replaced. Here's the St. Chrysostom's. And the conflict still continues. I argue we're in the second Cold War with the Ukraine-Russia conflict. It's a sphere of influence. NATO versus the last gasp of the Soviet Empire there. And it'll still persist. It's not going away. China's a part of this now. China has risen on the world stage as a major player. And we have yet to see how that's going to play out if there's another international conflict. Cuban Missile Crisis. Wow, yeah, that was scary times there. We came very close to a nuclear accident. They think that, you know, when the Cuban Missile Crisis, what, 1963, the Russians were putting, the U.S. spy intelligence noticed that Russians were putting nuclear missile silos on Cuba just 90 miles from Miami there. And it freaked, of course, the United States out, led to the Bay of Pigs. The CIA tried to use the pro-nationalist Cuban refugees that fled to America after Baptista was removed from power and Castro won the civil war there, the guerrillas there, and of course Che Rivera was part of that. But there was a bluffing game between Russia and the United States when JFK was president, and it almost led to a nuclear accident where Russia almost fired nuclear weapons against the United States, and we would have retaliated. And they think there was a Russian submarine commander that was given the command to fire the nuclear weapons, and he said, no, I'm not going to do it. And he paid a heavy price for that in Russia. And his personal decision might have saved millions of lives. Isn't that interesting? It came that close. And it shows you war's madness. Watch the movie Dr. Strangelove. Stanley Kubrick made Dr. Strangelove after that. It shows the madness of war. It was almost like a dark comedy, but it ends in nuclear war where that guy checks whatever rides the nuclear bomb. And again, that was a mistake. A mistake still can happen. The biggest danger is a nuclear weapon falling into some terrorist organization that actually uses it. Here's the Moorish revival style we talk about here. This was built as an apartment building, and still you can own it. I think each floor has a separate condo on it. We're on Dearborn Street here. Gold Coast heading into downtown Chicago. Yep. Yeah, it's such a tragedy that shows you the 60s were such a tumultuous time. Not only the assassination of JFK, but Dr. Martin Luther King in '68, Robert F. Kennedy, and that's why people are reminded of how tumultuous the 1968 Democratic Convention, which was held here in Chicago. The police riot against Mayor Daley did not like the hippies. Nobody liked the hippies. And the hippies, yippee dippies, were protesting against the Vietnam War, which at that time, LBJ owned that war. And that's why they were protesting. Just like now, the pro-Palestinian protesters are protesting the Biden administration for their support of Israel. Very complex. Israel's long been an ally of ours in that region. It's very hard to extract yourself from these commitments. I'm not a big fan of Netanyahu, but That's, you know, it's hard, you know. It's I understand the empathy for the Palestinian plight, but still Hamas, I have less empathy for Hamas. And you got to separate Hamas from the Palestinian people, which is hard. Same with, you got to separate the Jewish faith from the state of Israel, but it's hard. It's very hard, I know. There, look, here's hey, they got the windows open here. Omakase Sushi by Bo, the Clare Ridge House. Here they got a boutique hotel right here in the Gold Coast of Chicago. We're on Dearborn Street. Look at these beautiful facades of these. And here's the Chabad House. And hopefully I'm saying that right. It's a center of Jewish learning here, right in the Gold Coast of Chicago. Sometimes we pass the Midwest Buddhist Temple there. And the Old Town Triangle. Here's a Richardsonian Romanesque there. I film mosques too. I film mosques mainly on the south side. And there's some large mosques there, not just the ones associated with Farrakhan's organization, but there's some other mosques. And someday we'll get up to the Baha'i Temple up there in Evanston. It's kind of a Unitarian of all faiths there. And we'll check that out. Here's the, look at that. Yep, you never know. You could wake up and the whole world could change on a dime. As long as the stock market goes up, who cares? I'm joking, I'm joking. I just can't believe there was that huge sell-off 2 weeks ago with the Japanese carry trade was ending, with Japan finally raising interest rates, and Japan's market crashed overnight, and then the next day it rose 10% and it was over. And then now the stock market has gone up 8 days in a row. I'm just amazed it can do that people can just sleep at night like there's never ever going to be a sell-off. We've never, you know, how long have we gone without a real recession? I know there was COVID, was technically a recession, but it was so short that to me it wasn't a real recession. They preempted it, which we're all thankful they did that. So it didn't lead to a depression or extended down period. But now we got inflation, you know, and the Fed will keep telling us there's no inflation because they own all the assets. All the wealthy own all the assets. You know, we feel it more at the bottom, at least I do. And that's the way it always is. The Fed exists to keep the power structure in place so there's not massive disruptions in the economic hierarchy. And they keep Jamie Dimon rich. They keep Warren Buffett rich. And they keep us plebeians from starving at the bottom. Here's Hop Smith. Across the Shenanigans, Mothers, Bush McGuire's. Hey, got the windows open here. Look at this. Hop Smith here on Division Street here. Serena's Chicken and Burgers. Hey, you got the windows open here. Serena's Chicken and Burgers. Beautiful weather day. Yeah, this is exactly. You can open up the windows. We're having spectacular weather for the DNC. Isn't that amazing? It's not too hot. So we'll head down State Street here and head down to the downtown here on Monday, middle of the day here. We got 1254. Yeah, I don't know if Ricky lives in Chicago. I'll let him answer that. I've lived in Chicago for 26 years. Yeah, Damien, I hear what you're saying. That's what we're talking about. Oh, you're born and raised here. That's good. That's good. Hey, thanks. See, the Gold Coast. People are like, get out of the Gold Coast. I'm like, it's free to walk down the street. You know, there's nothing stopping anybody from going to the Gold Coast and checking out beautiful stuff there. It's not a gated community. You want to see a real wealthy community, go to a true gated community, you know, where they exclude people. They got armed security guards. You ever been to the Philippines? The vast, you know, the dispersion of wealth There's billionaires that live in the Philippines, and there's people living underneath bridges and hovel towns, you know, and I always wonder if eventually America will become like that. Vast winners and losers in the whole global marketplace there will all be replaced by robots, and Elon Musk will replace us with AI, and he'll live on Mars and collect all the profits. As we just, he was supposed to save the Earth. Why does he want to escape it so much? We only got one Earth. Hey, look at this beautiful view. Look at this great view we got here of the John Hancock, 875 North Michigan, the 900 North Michigan building. We'll go by Lou Malnati's here. This is where State Street splits off from Rush Street. We'll head down Rush Street. Lou Malnati, Chicago style pizza here. Look at this beautiful outdoor seating here. How you doing? There's the Viceroy, this hotel, the Somerset restaurant. They got the Devereaux on the roof there. We're still waiting for them to reopen Carmine's. Carmine's is an Italian restaurant there next to the Bellevue. They're going to reopen Tavern on Rush. People are sitting in Mariana Park. This is such a beautiful park, especially this time of year. They got the fountain on all summer. And we'll check it out in the middle of the day here on YouTube. We usually don't see it this time of the day. See if people are sitting out here. Yeah, see that. Thanks, Dario Khan. Thanks for, yeah. There's some more expensive real estate in the Philippines than Chicago, and you know, even like some of the high rises in Panama City. I mean, vast international wealth. You know, go to the Cayman Islands or, you know, the Virgin Islands. You'll see this international offshore, you know, money like Monaco, you know, the real money, you know, these tax havens here. But here's Mariano Park here. Look at the dog. How you doing? It's great. Perfect day. Look at the weather here. Beautiful day to sit out by the fountain here in Mariano Park. Affectionately known as the Viagra Triangle, but that was more when there used to be nightclubs here and people would park their fancy cars around here, and it was a seen and be seen place. And it still is a beautiful park to hang out with. Now it's mostly just people hang out here, get gelato, you get your fresh squeezed orange juice, and they got crepes at Whistler's here. Drive your Vespa. You can sit outside here. You can eat here at the Bellevue. Used to be Tavern on Rush, but the new Tavern on Rush is going to go there where Nico used to be. Here is Gibson's. Here's Gibson's Steak and Fish. Looks like they got the street blocked off down here, but it's just for cars. I wonder why they have Rush Street. Might be for security here. Here's Gibson's here. People are sitting outside. How you doing here? What a beautiful day. Honorary Frank Sinatra Place here. People sitting out here at Gibson's having a nice lunch. Yeah, Taco. How you doing, Taco? Ricky, yeah. Thanks for tuning in here. We'll go by Hugo's Frog Bar. Hugo's Frog Bar will be packed later on. It's more of a nighttime spot here. And, yeah, the new Tavern on Rush is getting ready to open there. Yeah, it looks like they got Rush Street blocked off to traffic. I wonder why this is. We'll see if we can figure this out. Looks like Oak Street's still open to traffic. I wonder if that's why I'm heading downtown, to kind of see how downtown's impacted by the DNC. We'll try to get to the West Loop later. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Not too bad. Good to see you. I remember you. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. See, I remember that guy because that when Foxtrot and Dom's Market closed down, we stopped at one of the Foxtrot. He just got out of the gym there, and we talked with him, and he's like, yeah, he goes, I can't believe this happened. He said he used to shop at Foxtrot, and it was just suddenly closed. So see, friends and neighbors, we run into the same people here. So it looks like, okay, so now we're seeing, look at all the police here. Some heavy hitters must be staying at this is the Waldorf Astoria Hotel here. So the Waldorf Astoria here on Rush Street, there must be some major people speaking at the DNC that are staying here, because look at the level of security they have around the Waldorf Astoria here on Rush Street. So we're finally starting to see evidence of impacts because of the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago. So we'll see more of this tonight on TikTok when I head to the West Loop. Though there's planned protests later tonight, or later today. Sorry, we're gonna start today. See, they got some fencing here. This is Rush and Walton Street. Rush and Walton Street, Waldorf Astoria. Look at the fencing they got around the hotel, the Waldorf Astoria here. And it's by the, see, they got the street blocked off here. And Aritzia, Rush Street. Also, the Sofitel looks like it's blocked off. So they're using some of the hotels here in the Gold Coast as a staging area for people staying. Probably important political speakers for the DNC. I see people in suits. I don't know where the media's staying. So, you know, as the week progresses, I'll be walking past this probably more often. So we'll see how this progresses here, if there's any events. Hey Toya, how's it going there, Amber? Lisa, how you doing there? Hotel Chocolat? Yeah, it could be. Oh, there's a fancy chocolate. Open a couple Foxtrots. Thanks for the good information, Lisa. We'll have to check that out. See, I knew some of the Foxtrots would change to something else. And I'll try to find out which location. See, we're heading past the Tesla store here. We're on Rush Street. They got Hotel Sofitel is blocked off, and the Waldorf Astoria is blocked off here. So we'll head across the street here. Here's the John Hancock. This is Delaware. What a Delaware in New Jersey. How's it going? But hey, yeah, see some of the fencing here, some of the security here.
That is the emergency for this next.
Look, they're hauling in barricades. They're hauling in concrete barricades here around some of the hotels. The high-end hotels here in the Gold Coast. They got Rush Street closed. So don't try that. This is why they told people like me and Naya who work downtown not to go downtown, because see, I'm walking. You know, when you walk, it's different. But if you're driving, even if you're taking transit, there's like impacts potentially because of the DNC. It looks like they're using the Sofitel and the Waldorf Astoria. There'll probably be some of the other hotels downtown will have similar things. We'll try to check it out as the week progresses here. I just got back into town late last night. I had to travel for a pre-scheduled bachelor party. Very important stuff. But here, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Rush Street. We're heading downtown here. And we'll go by the seminary here. Chestnut, Honorary Mike Dickaway. There's the John Hancock. And we'll head down to the water tower here. Chestnut and Rush. But yeah, you see, yeah, Sofitel, they're using that for the DNC, and the Waldorf Astoria. How you doing? Yeah, drink some chocolate there. Yeah, avoid downtown. That's good advice. The only reason I'm doing it is because, you know, I'm a live streamer and people expect me to cover this in some way. I know I'm taking dangers and risks, but you know, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I've been in protests and riots before in my youth. I used to protest the Iraq War back in the Bush administration, the second Bush administration. And we might not be able to get to the water tower this way. It looks like they have Pearson Street at Rush. Yeah, this is Pearson and Rush. They have the street blocked off here. And they got over to State Street here. But it looks like we can get beyond here. So here, look at some of the security here. They got the roadblocks up here. It's a checkpoint. It's a checkpoint for vehicles. They'll do a full vehicle inspection to get through this area. It looks like we can get out this area. So this is a vehicle checkpoint if people are being driven into a secure area around these hotels here for the DNC here. So welcome to the future state of America, where this happened to Washington, D.C. after January 6th. See, here's a checkpoint. They're driving into the checkpoint. People that have to drive in, they're Uber drivers or whatever, they have to do a vehicle inspection to get into a secure area here. So these are significant impacts to the downtown. And it looks like they got the water tower blocked off, so they don't want anybody getting close to the water tower. We'll see how close we can get to it here. How you doing? But it's a beautiful day here in Chicago, weather-wise. Low 70s, gentle breeze. Yeah, here's the, yeah, it's because of the hotel here. There's the Park Hyatt Hotel is here, but they got the entire water tower blocked off here. So we'll head over to Michigan Avenue, and we'll film it from Michigan Avenue. We'll be able to see it from that side. You beat Moody in a soccer a couple times. Hurt feelings. Oh, hey, the Wizard. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Are you tuning in from New York? I know you know Christopher Dotson there. That's good. Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, we'll cross Michigan Avenue here at Pearson. You see how they have Pearson blocked off because of the DNC. It's mainly because of the hotels. They must be using these hotels. Here's traffic on Michigan Avenue looking north. Looks a little heavier than usual. Traffic on Michigan Avenue looking south here. Here's, hey, they got the flag in the water tower place. They had that decorated for NASCAR. Now they got it decorated for the DNC here. Look at that. Ha. Very patriotic. So we'll wait for the left turns here and we'll cross here. There's the water tower. You can see the water tower. It's all blocked off. When's the last time you've seen the water tower blocked off like that? See all the fencing around the bottom? Yeah, I don't know, Lisa. Maybe you can find out online. Your guess is as good as mine. I haven't researched it that heavily. It's a good question. I'm sure both campaigns are continually financing, no matter what the occasion. They won't pass up an opportunity. If there's money in the room, they'll try to get it. And there's certainly money in the room for this thing, as evidenced by, just imagine how much the hotels are charging for this weekend to stay in some of these low luxury hotels that are booked solid for the DNC. And the city's breaking in the tax dope because they got to pay for all the overtime for the police, overtime for the emergency services, setting up all the security and running the show here, you know. And it's a big operation, but Chicago, we can handle these big things. Look, we did Lollapalooza, NASCAR, we did NATO, we did the NATO summit. There was protests for the NATO summit. This is in years past. You know, we did the Air and Water Show and the Bud Billiken Parade at the same time. You know, these huge events, and the DNC is no exception. They have Chicago Avenue completely closed. They have Chicago Avenue completely closed. The water towers closed off the whole plaza here. And we'll head down Michigan Avenue and we'll keep heading towards the Chicago River. Yeah, traffic's pretty, well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's just a little back up heading north. Here's the Peninsula Hotel. So the Peninsula Hotel is not blocked off. So only certain hotels, the only hotels I saw with security so far were the Park Hyatt, the Sofitel, and the Waldorf Astoria. But I bet like the Hilton downtown and some of the other, maybe the Palmer House might be blocked off too. Depends on their location and who's staying there. Oh, the hotel rates are crazy. Yeah, it's affecting the summer tourist season because yeah, there's been some people that were just visiting Chicago and they're like, how do I avoid the DNC? I'm like, well, you're not going to be able to avoid it completely because it's going to impact everything, you know. And I don't know what to tell people, you know. What did you expect? You came, just like if you went to Milwaukee during the RNC, it would have been the same thing, you know. There's the one Chicago Tower. I can't tell if there's any impacts that way. Of course, we passed Geno's East. Here's the Butterflies here. Giordano's. Other options in this area here. Hey, there's a cute dog. Yeah, 2024. We'll do it right in. Ronnie Woo Woo. Yeah, let's vote for Ronnie Woo Woo. We saw Ronnie Woo Woo at the Ryan Sandberg statue unveiling. I got a TikTok of it. He came up and started doing his woo chant, and I tried to join in, a few of us, and then he kept doing it, and people were like, "Shut up, Ronnie." It was sad because I remember going to, Ronnie looked good, and he was there. I was so happy to see him because I didn't see him since last year at the Bruce Springsteen concert. We saw him. I actually talked with him. I talked with Ronnie Woo Woo, and I think I salvaged that video. And then we were right next to him for the Ryan Sandberg. And yeah, I remember when the former president Barack Obama was elected in 2008, and I walked to work that morning after the election, just like I walk today, and most days walk to work. And Ronnie Woo Woo was standing. He was standing across the river there, and he had an Obama Cubs jersey on. It said Obama on the back, and I got to shake Ronnie Woo Woo's hand after Obama won the election, and he was so happy. And there was another older gentleman that he was by the John Hancock, 875 North Michigan. As we go by the Nike Town, this is Nike Town here in Michigan Avenue, Chicago. And he was an older gentleman, at least in his 80s. And I shook his hand, and he said, "I never thought I'd live to see the day that a black man would be elected president." You know, and he was black himself. And I was so, it was such a amazing historical moment to witness, you know, and it was very emotional. You know, here's Starbucks Reserve Roastery, the Cubs store, and of course this town just loved that Michelle and Barack were associated with this town. Michelle grew up here, and Michelle Obama is going to be speaking later this week at the DNC convention, from what I heard. So here we'll cross Erie Street here, Michigan Avenue, Chicago. We'll get to the river. Maybe it depends on if the fountain's going. Darren Monroe told me they turned on the Centennial Fountain, and it doesn't run continuously. It runs off and on. So maybe we might be able to catch it. And if not, we'll catch it later this week. There's so much going on. I got to go. I got to get some work stuff done this afternoon. I have a regular salary day job that I do besides all this live streaming. There's somebody putting political signs up. We're right in front of the yeah, come in December. Come see the holiday lights, the Kris Kringle. December, the weather is not usually that bad. Usually January, February, March is the worst. Sometimes December, it's cold, but it won't be as cold as it is later in the winter, and it's a good festive time to see the lights. Some people, you can come in late. You can come the weekend before Thanksgiving and see the Michigan Avenue when they light the lights here. They do the parade, and then the whole month of December, yeah, they got the Kris Kringle Market. They'll have the ice skating rink going, the ice skating ribbon. We film all that. You can watch. I got YouTube reruns of all that, hour-long videos where we walk through the Kris Kringle Market and check out Krampus and everything else. Santa's evil twin, Krampus. There's always a good and a bad guy. Hey, Sharon. Yeah, Ronnie Woo Woo. Yeah, Thanksgiving holiday parade is nice. And they have a Thanksgiving parade. I missed it, but I think this Gemini has some nice footage of the Thanksgiving parade in 4K, 60 frames per second there on YouTube. Here's La Katrina. Hey, there's La Katrina. She's looking nice. Right in front of Colores Mexicanos right here on Michigan Avenue. Beautiful sunshine, 1:14 in the PM. See, I knew I wouldn't make it to work until 1:30. We got detained at the zoo there. We had to go through security to get to the zoo. But here, we got 12 seconds to cross here. We'll cross Ohio Street here. This thing has literally been under construction for a year. This will never not be under construction. There's people from the hospitals. How you doing? How you doing? That's great. People saying hello. There's some media up there. There's a cameraman heading up Michigan Avenue. There's going to be a lot of media in town this weekend, so maybe we can catch some evidence of that. I guess I'm the media too, but I'm no commercials. Thanks everybody for your support. I appreciate it. This is a true labor of love, as you guys realize. Yeah, Mia and Amber, and thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in, Mia. So they're taking, yeah, look at that. taking pictures there in front of the flowers. Yeah, she's going to the convention there. Look at that. Yeah. See, she's good. She's got her own cameraman. You know, imagine I would show my face if I had my own cameraman. Be running this like Rick Steves. Rick Steves travels to Chicago. So we saw this. Hey, I've seen this guy before. How you doing? He's always bouncing the ball going up Michigan Avenue here. See, look, he's testing out his skills. He's spun the ball. We've seen him before. This is the Intercontinental Hotel. They got the flags out, of course, for the convention. And it looks nice here. Used to be the Medina Athletic Association. Michael Jordan's restaurant's in here. We talk about it all the time. Thanks for tuning in to YouTube here. How's everybody doing here? Welcome to Chicago. So tonight, after 5, when I get out of work, I'm heading into the office. I'll probably take the Green Line. We'll head over to the Ashland stop there. We'll get out at Union Park. There's protests that are probably already starting right now. They're supposed to march around United Center. I'll be as safe as I can. I'll keep a safe distance. I covered when they cleared out the tent encampment in DePaul. We covered that. The news media was there, and I was right next to the pro-Palestinian protesters on the other side of the street. And so there's several demonstrations that are planned today. Here's Casa Shy, or Casa She, the Shy, and we'll wait for the left turns here. But we'll get a beautiful views of the vintage skyscrapers here in Chicago, as we usually do. We'll cross the Chicago River and head into work here. But yeah, tonight I'll be on TikTok trying to cover some of the stuff in the West Loop. We'll see some of the impacts and other things, as we've already seen there by those hotels. And I didn't realize they were going to close off the water tower. Some other stuff's in the Loop might be closed off. So a lot of people aren't working downtown. They've been asked to, if they can, work from home this week just to avoid the congestion. Yeah, everything's really expensive. You're in a heavily overpriced tourist area, you know. And people always want me to point out the Trump Hotel. I'm like, that's fine. You go there. If you want to pay overpriced drinks and overpriced everything, that's the place to go. You'll pay for that name, you know. There, look right there. See that truck? That truck's flying the Mr. T flag there. Should get really interesting when we head to the West Loop tonight. So thanks everybody for tuning in here. I'm not signing off yet. I'll get you across the river here. Here's the Wrigley Building, Jack Brickhouse. We went by the Tribune Tower. Here we're at Pioneer Square here. Apple Store, Aqua, Aeon, 333 North Michigan, the London House, Mather Tower, the Jewelers Building, that one with the dome. All the way over to the Leo Burnett and R. O'Donnell Building. There's the Trump Tower behind the Wrigley Building. This is downtown Chicago by the river, Michigan Avenue area. We'll cross the river. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of the Centennial Fountain, maybe not. If we can't catch it now, we'll catch it later. I gotta head to work. I'm already spent more time than I intended to. I wanted to try to get downtown in an hour. It always takes me an hour and a half when I live stream because we run across like security at the Lincoln Park Zoo and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't see the fountain going there. Here's Wrigley Building, but we'll catch it later. There'll be other times for that. Here we're crossing the DuSable Michigan Avenue Bridge. There's Jean-Baptiste Point DuSable statue right there. We usually point that out. We'll cross the Michigan Avenue Bridge here. People taking pictures here. Yeah, I got some boats here. All right, I hope everybody has a great Monday here. Yeah, look at that. Here come some boats. Nice breeze here coming from the lake. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. I mean, this is the most ideal weather you almost could possibly have, you know. There, look at this Wendella boat coming underneath us here. Scenes of the city. Yeah, there's some street musicians over there. Hear the nice music here, sounds of summer. Hey, look at the river boats there. Look at the boat traffic here. The Marquette. Look at that. And you can see up to the Tribune Tower. Look at that. There, we'll cross the street here. The historic site of Fort Dearborn's underneath our feet right here. Rita Towers. Yeah, he's vlogging too. It's good. There'll be a lot of vloggers in town this week, and I won't be the only one. There's people from LA. You know, there's look at that. Somebody sent me. There was somebody at the Atlanta airport. They're flying through Chicago. They have like 1.3 million followers. So that's my competition. I appreciate everybody that follows me on both YouTube and TikTok. We'll slowly build our fan base here, and we run into people all the time that know our content, know our community here. Thanks to everybody that comes in and enjoys this content here. Yeah, we're part of it. Hey, here's a bagpiper. Yeah, thanks, John James. Hey, we've seen this bagpiper before here, so I'll go quiet and we'll listen to this beautiful bagpiper here on Michigan Avenue, Chicago here. Yeah, there he is. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Chicago. Beautiful weather, 72 degrees. It was really pleasant today here. We'll cross Water Street at Michigan. And so thanks everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We'll film the Carbide and Carbon building. It's beautiful Art Deco hotel that we get to view every day as we head into work here. There's the Citizen M. You can look back up to the Rickens building on Michigan Avenue. Here's the Sweetwater. So I'll bid you adieu for now. I'll see you tonight on TikTok. At least that's the plan. And then we'll try to continue our lunch walks this week on YouTube. Thanks to my great audience here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate your support. Thanks for following me on both platforms, both TikTok, Brian Really Chicago, and YouTube. And we'll see you later today, okay? See ya. See you everybody. See you, Wizard, John James. Search for you. And Damien, Taco. Everybody else all the way back to the front there. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. See you, Naya. See you, Mia. We'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.